Going YouTube, everything right now.
Yo, hell yeah, for sure.
Yo, what is cracking? It's your boy Big Al, Lundis. I got my man Jesus here.
What's going on?
We just did an Instagram live last night. We already did podcast episode 1. Yo, what's cracking, y'all? It's your man Lundis. Got my man Jesus here.
What's going on, yo?
This is podcast round 2. We're talking lifestyle changes today. And my man Jesus is the real motherfucking deal. I had him come down from LA. We over here did a workout that was crazy as fuck. Jesus whipped my ass on burpees and Navy SEALs. I got him back on the push-ups. And it was a good overall workout. So I just want to applaud you first, bro, and say, man, I didn't think you were this big in person. And number 2, you're a cool ass motherfucker, bro. So I really appreciate you.
Yeah, my man.
Glad we're able to get this podcast in, man.
Hell yeah, my boy. Fucking likewise. It's a pleasure being here on the podcast. Sharing some knowledge and because you never know who needs to hear this or who needs to just the push to change their lifestyle or whatnot, right? Yep.
And for sure, so let's start there, brother. I know you're in the Army now. You got a lot of things going on. You have your program that you're working on, and you're dialed the fuck in, bro. A lot of people struggle with alignment and themselves figuring out how to be doing the right things for themselves. So for you, when we talk about lifestyle changes and we talk about making it and making sure that we implement it between the daily things, the habits that we're doing, what do you recommend that they do if they're starting on that journey and they're trying to be more consistent?
Well, if you're trying to do something, the thing is, it's just about doing it, because a lot of people, including myself, when I first started my journey, it was, I was overthinking a lot of things, man, so I was, I would, start with a problem and then just attack that problem and just keep going on from there, make a list of things you need to do today, things you need to do by the end of the week, by next month, and make some goals. Cause, the whole purpose here is to operate off purpose. Cause, if you're just operating off emotions, which is just gonna, it's gonna, isn't equal to a disaster, because you're gonna overwhelm yourself. You're gonna start overthinking, and before you know it, you're just back in the rabbit hole. So it's just about, setting some goals and operating on purpose. Like, why are you doing it for? 'Cause at the end of the day, once you're on this journey, it's not about you anymore. It's about what you have to do. You have to put those self pleasures out the way and start moving towards your purpose, like how we just talked about right now.
Word. And I love that, brother. That's something that people don't realize, and that's something people don't see. And I know for me, when I started looking at it before, I know we say non-negotiables, but like I said on the live last night, like sometimes that's hard as fuck for some people to grasp. And it's like, you could say that I get to, but it's like, why don't we change that to I do? Kind of like yesterday I had a dude and we had a podcast interview. He's like, I'm trying to be an entrepreneur. Like, no, motherfucker, you are an entrepreneur. Because if we say these words, try, am, I get to, like, it works for some people, but some people it's complete identity, like one reason why I fuck with you a lot, is you used to drink too. And you're a heavy drinker like I was, so when you stop doing that, it's like we can call ourselves alcoholics, but me and you were to a point where it's like we were cool with being an alcoholic. Like we accepted, hey, bro, I'm alcoholic. Like it was a good thing. So for me, I'm like, nah, bro, I don't drink. Like I don't do that shit. And I was aggressive with it. And it was changing the whole identity of how I operate, how I become a better person. And that is something that's important to me. So for you, bro, when you're focused on, changing that identity and assuming that man that you admire, the man that you're trying to be, what should we do?
Waste fucking time. That right there, you just you're throwing away your inner peace. And like I always talk about, once your mind is once you start working on yourself, start working on your mindset, you're chasing after the goals for your body, and you create the person that you really truly want to be without any regret behind your mind. that's when you create your inner peace, and that's when you could really live your life, and you enjoy being who you really fucking are, without any substance and wherever the fuck you are. And that's where I used to fuck up at, because I would run the vices, like alcohol, weed, drugs, and whatnot, to create that inner peace. And like I said, it was just a never ending cycle of pain and regret, because I'll wake up later like fuck, now that now that the high went away, I'm like, okay, fuck, like let's get back to it. I need to find that inner peace again, especially while that gang banging and all those trauma, healing trauma is it's about, like I said, creating that inner peace, working on the mindset. And once you build that mind, the body will follow. And then from there, your life will the life the life that you really want to live will slowly progress to show up and manifest in front of you.
Word, brother. And I feel like that's something people don't understand. And that's exactly why I got you on, another time, essentially the
Yeah.
third fucking podcast. And
Yeah.
now we're talking building you a podcast
Yep.
because you got that powerful story. You got that stories like you were telling me when we're working out, where, you were somewhere and shit got on and popping. You know
Yep.
what I
Yep.
mean? And you handle business and
Yeah.
you went back to life. And then you realize, like, hey, that's cool and all, but it's not going to get you to where you want to be. And I love that about you, bro. Like, that's why I said I fuck with you so much.
Yep.
And now you're one of my best friends, is because like you're taking protein with you. You're taking meal preps to the fucking field with you. Like I'm telling y'all, ain't nobody fucking doing that. Like when I was in Yuma, so got to my unit for 3 weeks, got sent to Yuma, right? I sent my mom so much fucking money that I was living off of tuna and literally living this shit poor, right? I was living off of tuna packets. I had some cereal. I would go get pasta. I would spread that out between 2 days. I would get Subway. I would spread my wraps out between the day. And I literally was eating tuna packets. Then after that, I got sent to the desert out in 29 Palms. Did the same exact shit. And over there, it was funny because there was a lot of grunts. So
Yep.
I would go to the little PX and I would buy like 30 things of tuna. And because I did that, they harped on that rule of like, don't buying so much. So everybody was trying to figure out like, how are we gonna get more in? And then we got pizza. And here goes me fucking bringing out foil and putting the pizza in there. I'm like, oh, I can eat this here and take it out of my pack. And people are like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, you got to think differently. So when you were saying that, it resonated with me, but also because you're younger than me and all this shit's clicking with you. So it's awesome seeing that because like I see myself in you, but I'm like, bro, you're better than me because when you get to 25 like I am, you're going to be so much further than I am because you have that discipline I didn't have, and you show up every single fucking day.
Yep. Yep. No, hell yeah, man. And it's just just being humble, man. Because at the end of the day, you know, we can all relate to something, and we can all learn off people, especially you, dog. Like you're in, like we clicked real quick because you were in the military and you grew up with that, with that lifestyle. So that's why I fuck with you a lot, bro. But yeah, man, about bringing protein to the field, bro. It's just you gotta do what you gotta do, bro, until you get to do what you really truly want to do. And yeah, man, I just fucking, like I said, like I always say, man, victory favors the person who plans ahead of time, So, once you plan ahead of time, you won already, because you're still, going after your goals. You don't know any excuses, and applying that, from the field, and you can apply it to life. Whenever you go somewhere, you go camping, you go to a business trip, you go on a road trip, and that's a lot of people's excuses when they're like, oh man, I don't have time. I don't have time to cook food. But it's not about cooking food. It's just about uh, you know, it's just about hitting your numbers. Like the other day, I went to Chick-fil-A. I went Chick-fil-A yesterday, and I got some food with me and my girl. And the thing is, I just you make it happen regardless. If you really fucking want it, you will find a way. And that's what it is. You find out what works for you, what fits your numbers, and you fucking hit him. And it's just from there, just keep going. Point blank, my man.
Hell yeah, brother. I love that so much. And that's something that resonates with me because I did the same thing. I mean, you seen on the live last night, bro. I had Subway and I'm all, hey, bro, I got turkey. And then you're like, hell yeah, fit the macros. And I wasn't even going to get Subway. I actually bought 2 things of chicken. I showed Jesus because my wife's not here this weekend. And I was like, I'm going to eat right. When I got Subway after a 4-hour drive and 4.5-hour drive, and I was like, hey, I'm going to make sure I do this because it's so fucking easy. And here's the thing, you got to cater what's important to you, to your goals, right? When I was driving, every fucking 20, 30 minutes, there's a McDonald's. And I was like, bro, I can get that Big Mac, homie. I can get that Big Mac and I'm fucking set. I get some fries. And I'm thinking about how good these fries would taste. And then I thought about it and I'm like, nah, even like Thanksgiving, bro. 2 days before I seen a video and it was like, this is the end of the year. Everybody's talking about separation season. It's like, you should separate yourself every fucking day than everybody else. So I had a mountain of turkey and then I had like a little bit. My wife made green bean casserole. So I had a little bit of green beans and I literally ate hella turkey. And everybody's like, you're just getting all that turkey. And I'm like, turkey's bomb, bro. This is fire. And it was just mindset. Like, I convinced myself this shit was so fucking good that all I was eating was protein and I still stuck to the macros, still stuck to the what's working for me on this cut, even though it was fucking Thanksgiving and want to be happy. And then next week I'm gonna be on a fast because that's what my goals are. So I love that you say that, bro, because it's when we talk about lifestyle, we talk about living it. It means you have to do the uncomfortable things. You have to push yourself and make sure that you can do the things that aren't comfortable, that aren't what you want to do. So I really appreciate you saying that, bro, because a lot of people don't get that. And we also talked about yesterday you went with your girl to Chick-fil-A, right? So let's establish that because some people don't talk about that on the relationship side, to where you only hear it where it's one-sided, and they don't talk about how important it is to have a partner who's one supportive, but two that's going to be able to be like, hey, let's do these things. Let's make it a habit to eat healthy together. So what's that been like in your relationship, bro? Where you've been able to eat healthy with your lady and also establish you two being better and better.
Well, in a relationship, bro, at the end of the day, a relationship, what it is a team. A woman will either break you or make you. So it's good, because at the end of the day, like I said, you start doing your thing, you start handling your business, and people are gonna catch on to it and be like, oh shit, I want to be like him. Like, what's he doing? Like, he's getting results. He's hitting macros. He's being consistent. He's not chasing vices anymore. So now you're more clear minded, and people see that they're like, fuck, like I want to tag along with him. So in a relationship, it's very important, with me and my lady. It helped kind of boost up our relationship a little bit more because it kind of created that team bonding a little bit more. So now we were working a little bit more as a team. Like, I'm like, hey babe, did you eat already? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, was it under your fucking numbers? Yeah, I'm like, okay. And then her with me as well. Hey babe, did you eat already? Did you pack lunch for work? I can bring you something that that fits your numbers or whatnot. And it's just kind of like you guys start having like your back or whatnot a little bit more. And at the end of the day, that's what you really want in a relationship. You want someone that you can grow with and keep on going with, man.
And how long have y'all been together, brother?
We've been together for about more than 2 years already, bro. Yeah, but she's been on me since like I was fucking up, bro. Like back when I was 14, 15. So it's good now that from there to now we're something different.
Yeah, no, I get you 100%. I've known my wife since fifth grade, and we were cool back then. We didn't date, and then I fucked everything up when I was in the Marine Corps. I was a piece of shit, you know what I mean? And it's not that; it's just I was dealing with my own shit. I was dealing with the drinking and everything. She supported me throughout that, and even after, and like I told you, like every single thing I talk about is because I fucked up as a man. So it's not like you hear me coming and I'm calling people motherfuckers. I'm saying it because my ideal avatar is that person we're lighting a fire under, and that person who's looking at changing their life, that's looking at pushing themselves to be the best they can be. And one of the things that you focus on and I focus on is the people we surround ourselves with. So when you started focusing on your personal development, you started putting thousands of dollars into your business, into yourself, into getting this coaching. What was that mindset change when you drop that money and you realize, like, man, I'm empowering myself to be a better human being before I can even do any business deal?
So for me, what really changed my mindset was like, okay, like now I gotta square myself away and I gotta be on top of my shit. Because at the end of the day, how you gonna go lead somebody you can't even lead yourself. So for me, it's like everything I gotta do is just now. It's like I said earlier, it's about operating off purpose. I have a purpose. I have people that look up to me. I have people that I'm leading. And real leaders lead from the front. They lead by example. So I'm not gonna like do something and behind my back I'm gonna go fucking drink a couple beers. Like what I say, I really do. Especially in this coaching business, because that's when you start doing that, you come off as genuine. It's something real, and everything I talk about is something that I've been through, and it's something that I always I speak up my story because you never know who needs to hear it. Like the other day, I had a client call me, signed him up and everything, and he was over here crying on the phone, talking about, hey man, like I really fuck with you. You're real, this and that, and it feels good, because at the end of the day, you never know who's watching your stories, and it'll be selfish of you to not share your knowledge because somebody out there, you know, whether you think it's something so small, that something so small to them is something so big, and it's just like a push,
Word, brother. And actually, funny, I know you'll get a kick out of this. The other day, I did my first 24-hour fast, and I really don't do fast just because, like I said, I get migraines, and this 7 days is gonna be wild. And I'm doing this fast, and you talked about it. People drinking beers behind closed doors. I've been around those people. My old business partner was like that, and it's like I was starting to be the same thing. I was like, oh, whatever, Uh, and I'm not gonna butcher character, but there was things I was repeating from the same thing. And the other day I'm doing this fast. I'm 22 hours in. My fucking wife, the clown she is, love her to death, starts eating right next to me, bro. This food smells so fucking good, and I'm like, I'm fucking hurting. She knows I'm hurting, and she's like, it's all right. You can just quit the fast. Like, you don't have to eat. Like, leaves the offer on the table just to see what I'll say, and I'm like, nah, fuck that. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, nah, fuck that, because I can't live with myself knowing that I lied to people blatantly. And then my wife, out of all people, has this on me. And all she got to do is be like, nah, motherfucker, you didn't do this one day, and make a joke. And now my ass is on the line. And I was like, I know it was a joke. She was pushing me and trying to test me to see. But I was like, character is everything. For me in that moment, like, I didn't want to break, because where we come from is people don't live in character. You know what I mean? Like, they do the easy shit. We take the easy route. We take the easy life. We get that job. We stay secure. We're in the military. Don't do anything else. You're over here building your coaching business while being in the military. Like, this is the shit people don't do, and that's what separates us from the pack. Is you have to do those things. So I just wanted to share that with you, because I know you would get a kick out of it. But that shit fucking sucked for me, because I was hurting. I was thinking about that pain that was current, and then I thought about it, and it went back to the why, and it was, the why is so fucking strong, you're gonna make that change. And for me, December 31st last year, bro, I got on my knees begging God, and I was like, God, shit needs to change. If not, you can take me off the fucking planet. And bro, I got a dream of me getting stabbed up, and I'm telling you, like, after this fucking dream, I woke up and I was like, I just want to live, bro. Like, I've never in my life wanted to live that much, but after that dream ended with fucking hits from a bong by Cypress Hill, and I was like, maybe this is a thing not to be smoking as much. So cut back on the smoking to be intentional for when I do need it. And it was funny, because it was like just that vision, bro, changed my whole fucking life. And people don't do that. They don't ask for help. They don't grind and grind and grind and put that work into themselves. So for you, man, when you're helping your clients, like you said, the one that was calling you, and they're going to it, what's the first step that you give them so they understand what to do when the shit gets hard, just like when it's what they don't want to do?
Well, the first step I was telling, man, is just life's always gonna test you. So it's just about knowing, you always have to create a vision. You have to create a goal, and because it's at the end of the day, life is like any sport. Like a game of baseball or soccer. Baseball wouldn't be the same without the purpose of running to the diamond at home. To make score that point. Soccer wouldn't be the same without the whole purpose of scoring that ball inside the netting. Football wouldn't be the same without its purpose. So you apply that to life, and I always tell my clients it's just about creating that purpose, that goal of what is your goal, and then once you create that vision and that goal, that's when life's gonna test you. Like it's gonna throw shit at your face, stronger than before. But it's just about sticking to it. How bad do you really fucking want it? For me, when I was cutting, I was eating only 100 grams of carbs, and I was like that for 2 months and like a couple weeks, and man, that shit was just testing me. Every now and then I'll see food, and I'll go home, especially in the Mexican household, you have all the breads, the sweet breads and shit, las conchas and everything, man. And I walk in and I'm staring at it, and I'm like, nah, like, yeah, yeah, bro. Like, I would like, then I just grab it, and I'm about to bite it, and then I'll put like, nah, bro, I'll put it down. Like, yeah, like, it's just about purpose, man. Like, because at the end of the day, your purpose will outweigh any other temptation, man.
Bro, I love that you say that, because I went into that. I'm the same thing. Like right now, my carbs, either 100, really like 100 the days that I feel terrible and I know that I can push a lot, kind of like today, going to like 140 and then back down. And then you do it so much that so fucking one thing that I've been eating lately is fucking chicharrones, because it's all fat. You know what I mean? So like get a little bit of fats, because that's what I don't do. Get an avocado, fucking chicharrones, make some nachos with it, fat-free cheese. And it was like Steve Hockman taught me that. And it was getting around the people who are going to help you, teach you the things you don't know. For me, I didn't know that. You know what I mean? I was just like, oh, chicharrones is bomb. And then like I learned that I was like, I can still eat this shit. And I think that's the thing, you know. And even Wes Watson called our people out, you know, and he's talking about you never see a good Mexican and they cut that part out. And the second person was because they have the best food on the planet. And it's true. Like we as a culture don't even help our people sometimes and teach like, hey, this is what we can do because it's so easy to be lax to do what is traditional. And I just remember as a kid, you know, like the fucking carne asadas and everybody drunk, fat and happy, and they got the Modelos, they got the Coronas, and I was that guy, you know what I mean? I was the one that would roll up with 2 fucking Coronas, be like, "What's up, motherfucker?" And then yeah, and then fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin that shit, and bro, I was fucking stupid. Like my younger sister, every time I see her, she's like, "Hey, fool, what's my $100?" Because I told my sister, I was so drunk, I told her, "Hey, fool, I need you to watch this fucking door." And if the cops come, let me know because I gotta bounce. And she was probably like 10. You know what I mean? Like I was just faded, you know what I mean?
Nah, yeah, man, but that's true, man. You know, especially in our culture, you know, our culture is really rich in food, man. Like we do have a lot of good ass food, but then that's the same shit that's fucking us up. And you know, it goes back to those growing up, just learning you know, it's just behavior that we soaked up growing up, eating good, you know. Or like you tell your pops, "Hey pops, I'm gonna start lifting weights," and the first thing your pop says, "Hey mijo, to get big, you gotta eat big," you know. So you start eating all this food, you know. But that's where we fuck up, you know, because a lot of us, you know, and this goes for every race, you know. The only problem is just the nutrition, you know. A lot of us Mexicans are fucking hard work, you know. We work our asses out, we're strong, but the only shit that fucks us up is just the nutrition, you know. We don't know how to eat and what to eat and how much of it to eat, you know.
uh, in the facts, bro. It's like I love that, and the reason why I'm focusing more on Mexicans for us is because like it's relatable. You know what I mean? Like, and people only gonna understand, you know, with them and with our ideal audience. You know, I'm talking to business owners and that. It's like I call myself out. Why? Because I was the one that eating tortas and whatever. Like my wife gets down in the kitchen. Like she can fucking cook. One day I'll invite you over. She'll cook, dude. Uh, and that's it, you know. Like now it's like we can still eat tortas, but at some capacity where it's like that's our cheat meal, and it's not all the time. And like lately, what it's been is she's like, "Oh, let's make our own Chipotle bowls and make our own Chipotle bowls and doing all this shit." And I'm like, honestly, I love my wife's cooking more than anything. And it's funny because like my side of family, Mexican family, we don't have as good of food. Like our food's not that good. My boy, his friend is from Guadalajara, and better food. So I was like always eating at their house, eating better, but they eat a little bit healthier. You know, more ensalada, fucking ceviche all the time, shrimp cocktail all the time. So it was like I was getting a taste of that because my side, like we eat the chicharrones, we have refried beans with everything, chicharrones with the chile. Like we weren't eating all the best things all the time. It was always oil. Like the beans, I didn't know my grandma would just get the oil and just put it in the beans and then stir it. And I was like, I can't eat that shit no more after I seen that. And again, you know, you talk about the nutrition and it's that. It's like if you don't educate yourself or even past those limiting beliefs, like you said, like your dad was like, oh, you got to eat big. They may know, but at the same time, it's like the goals, right? We talked about investing in ourselves. We talked about goal setting, but you got to go to the person who's doing the shit that you admire, the shit that you want to be. You're like, oh, I want to be like that motherfucker. I'm going to do the things he's doing because success leaves clues, you know. And I think that's the key here, you know, with both of us talking today is like, it's not about who you are, where you're from, whatever. Like, you're going to cater those goals to what they are. And that's what you talk about. Like, you did Wes's program. Wes is cool, but Guerrero is better for you because he's more relatable for you. And you guys have that personal connection. In that coaching program, it was more one-on-one. So you gained more value by doing what was more important to you. And now you're bringing it into your coaching business on that. So could you touch on that a little bit more on just figuring out, you know, what works for you versus trying to do what everybody else is doing?
Oh yeah. So my boy said, you know, about figuring out what works for you. It's at the end of the day, you know, um, rule number one, you never take advice from somebody that you don't want to look like, you know. So especially with like you know how we talked about earlier about like my pops telling me, "Amy, you gotta eat big to get big," you know. Obviously, my father doesn't have the results, so I mean, yes, at the end of the day, he's my father, but at the end of the day, you know, you want to get advice from someone that knows what he's doing. Like, you know, that's why when I started that coaching business, you know, or when I first started, you know, I wanted to get my macros on check. I hit up Guerrero, you know, my boy right there. You laced me up, you know, got me right, you know, and then from there, I was like, man, I fucking love this shit. So now I want to do coaching. So I hit up Wes Watson for the coaching. Absolutely phenomenal. I learned a lot of shit there. But then I found out my, you know, Coach Garrett, fucking Coach Guerrero had the coaching too. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have back on him because at the end of the day, me and him have more of that bond. He grew up in the hood, I grew up in the hood. We're both Mexican. We both grew on Southside, so it's like okay, like I could relate to him more. Um, on a certain level. So that's why for me, what works for me more is sticking with him. At the end of the day, anybody can bring absolute knowledge to a place. So it's always good to have that open mind and listen out to other people. But yeah, man, I had to stick with my G, my man.
For sure, brother. And I love that about you. Is you hear the realness, but more importantly, is you back that shit up.
Yep.
And even today, dude, you beat me in a workout. Like we're pushing each other the whole workout. This motherfucker really tried to tell me, oh no, I can't do any more dips. I'm like, nah, fuck that. Do that more.
Yeah, yeah.
Do two more. I was just trying to record a video. I just said two more. This man busts out 25 more dips. Like I said two, motherfucker. So now I know you can't fucking count.
Yeah.
And you're over here doing more. But like it was just pushing that. And I literally said that on my story. Like if you ain't got homies that push you harder than anything, then they're not your homies. And that's the fact is like people don't realize that shit. And people pick up on that, even in burpees and Navy SEALs. Like I was getting gassed out, and I'm like, bro, this cut's fucking me up. And you're like, nah, you're good, G. Let's keep going. So we kept going, and then we got the push-ups, and then you're going through it, and then I'm doing more push-ups, and I'm like, hey, bro, let's go. And it's like that motivation carried us through it. That motivation carried us to do this fucking podcast because we could easily been like, oh, nah, bro, let's go fucking shoot the shit. Let's go get some grub and fucking that's it, And it's like if you keep sticking that mindset, you keep doing those things. That's why you have no results. And I love that. You talked about your dad. Like my dad had the results when it came to the fitness. 5 days a week he was in the gym. But when it came to the weekend, he was drinking like crazy and then vices and doing bad shit. So that didn't align with me. So I don't fuck with him on that level because it's like you can't be a half glass, half ass guy. And that's what it was. And one thing they used to tell me in boot camp was like, you're half fast, you do everything half fast, you're gonna marry somebody who's half fast, your kids are gonna be half fast, and you're never gonna break that. And since us breaking the generational curses and really becoming the best that we can be, like we learn those things. It's like you have to figure out what's in alignment with you, but then make sure you live in that.
Oh yeah, bro. And like how you talked about breaking that generational curse. It's about you know, a lot. What people don't realize is we grew up soaking in learned behavior. Like everything, the way we act to the way we think is everything that has affected us in the past. So once you start coping and you reach that breakthrough, like, oh shit, like everything that I'm doing right now, I learned it from my father learned it from his grandpa, and that's the reason why I act the way I act. And that's something where a lot of people, they start holding grudges because they're like, fuck, once they start realizing shit, they're like, well, fuck, my dad started doing this, and or my mom started doing this, and then they hold grudges to them. But you can't blame them because they didn't know any better. They didn't know that the you know that there's a better way to do something, and that's why it's a very important to to not hold grudges and let go of the past, and not operate off emotions, like operating off fear, anger, or whatnot, right?
Bro, you hit me on the money, and that's where I
Yep.
fuck up. Is I was one of those guys. I'd be like, I don't hold it against them now. Now it's a different story. Now it's not that I hold it against them; it's the inactivity of action. The reason why I say inactivity of action is like so many of us, our parents are like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this." And the way that they wanted it for us was for us to just fucking do it and shut the fuck up already. So I'm the same way on that capacity. It's like, all right, motherfucker, you have the clarity, you get it. What's there else to get? Get to fucking work.
Yep.
And it's like, now I'm the asshole because I'm telling you that, but it's true. Like, you didn't know. So now you know. So get to work.
Yep.
Like, what else is there going to be? You need another sign from God. Like, I knew drinking a gallon of whiskey wasn't a good goal. So I stopped drinking. My life got better.
Yeah.
And then I followed up with, I don't need that shit ever in my life. I don't need to surround myself with that. I don't need to go to the bar. I don't need to go to the club. Like, and life changed for me. So if you have that clarity and you understand, get to take action. Like there is no fucking waiting. There's nothing else. My man, you've been amazing today. We're about to go grub down. So I just want to say thank you for coming out. You have any last words of wisdom?
Any last words of wisdom, man? Just find that purpose, man. Create that goal and create that vision, and stick to it. Life is always going to test to see how bad you want it, but it's not about how the story started. It's about how the story ends. That's where a lot of people fuck up. But anyways, man, just stick to it and stay grinding. At the end of the day, this is your story. You are the fucking narrator in your movie. So It's anything that you want in his life, you can create it.
Boom. You heard the man. Where can people
Yep.
find you at, brother?
You can find me on Instagram at Hard Hit Fit, YouTube as well, Hard Hit Fit, and TikTok as well, and threads and whatnot.
For sure, brother. We'll have everybody go your way. Thank you again, my man.
Yep. Thank you, man. Appreciate it for being here.